Welcome to the Tweeting Warrior podcast with Brad Hutchings and Jay Cobb. We're podcasting live on YouTube this afternoon from 12:15 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have a great time today. If you're watching this, please share a link with your friends. How you doing today, Cobb?
Great to be live on YouTube with the TMP, Brad. Hey, everyone out there in Warriorland. Welcome to the Tweeting Warrior podcast, home of the premier source of sports fan fiction.
We need some interaction. Here's what you do. To tweet our show, hashtag TheTMP. No need to tweet at either Cobb or me. We'll figure it out. If you tweet our show before 1:30 p.m., your tweet will probably get read because your tweet is that good. If you'd like to call the show, you'll need to install the GoToMeeting app for your phone, tablet, Mac, or PC. The meeting ID today is 435-662-317, and that's on the YouTube page. Headset will make you feel great. Sorry, no phoning it in to GoToMeeting.
So, hashtag your tweets, the TMP, and call us with GoToMeeting. Meeting ID 435-662-317.
Happy New Year, Cobb. What do you think of your new studio?
It looks a lot like the old studio, Brad. Listeners, trust me on this. I still don't have that cool blue mic Brad promised me.
It's on its way, but we have a new live regular day and time. We have guests. Actually, today we don't have a guest. He flaked on us. We have callers. We read tweets. We have top-of-the-hour takes. Cobb, did you think we'd pull this off when we started talking about this just before Christmas?
I did. We're going to take this next level.
Yeah, that's what we want to do.
Winners of the week. Well, here we are, year 2014. Go ahead, everyone, pat yourselves on the backs. Some of us, well, me for sure, are all drunk and fat from the holidays, and a little slow to get things going in this new year. Well, everyone except for drunk and fit. Cheech picks up right where he left off and earns the first Twitter hat-trick win of 2014 by doing what he does best, tweeting J Moore Sports. Cheech, on this first Thursday of 2014, you earned on January 2nd, which happened to be the first year anniversary of J Moore Sports, the first Twitter hat-trick contest win of the year, and your 11th. Follow him on Twitter at DrunkenFit. Cheech, you are a hat-trick winner. Friday's winner has quickly made himself no stranger to the Twitter Hat-Trick Club leaderboard. DJC has earned his third Twitter Hat-Trick contest victory and has done so in short order. Follow him on Twitter at David J. Castillo. DJC, you are a hat-trick winner.
And today we had Big Mike's Got It All. He was today's winner. And we're going to start doing this feature where we talk about anniversary wins because we're all coming up on first-year anniversaries. And unfortunately, I have barking dogs outside and don't have access to the anniversary wins right now. So we're going to cover those next week. Is that okay with you, Cobb?
All right. Yeah, it's fine, Brad.
All right, so our first take. As the college football season draws to a close tonight, we'd like to share our thoughts on the bowl games. First, as many, including the great Jay Moore, have noted, 35 is way too many bowl games. There are not 70 teams in the Fruit Bowl subdivision or whatever they're calling it now that deserve 2 extra weeks of practice for road trips to places that get above 20 degrees Fahrenheit in the first 4 weeks of winter.
Brad and I have done an extensive analysis on this for a feature we're doing this hour called the TMP Top 70. More on that later. Our conclusion is that bowl eligible should mean 8 wins before the bowl game or win your conference. There were actually 2 teams this year who finished with losing records overall. Where are the proud alumni of those schools telling the AD not to double down on the embarrassment of a 6-6 season with a chance at a bowl loss? I'm talking about you, Wazoo and Rutgers.
We also want to do away with the automatic conference lock-ins to the lower bowl games. Oregon playing Texas was an absolute disgrace to the whole bowl tradition, both on paper and on the field. With conferences wanting championship games and splitting into divisions, that's bound to happen to a number 10 team that doesn't play in a conference championship.
Our ideal system would work like this. After the playoff selections, which would be expanded to 8, Remaining bowl committees would bid in an auction for the rights to choose additional teams. With a minimum bid of $1 million per game and a reduced pool of bowl-eligible teams, money raised would be given to the universities used to pay the players, and 1% would be broken off to Brad and me for coming up with the idea. With money on the line, the bowl committees would choose the most exciting matchups available.
We need a name for this selection process, Cobb. Branding is the most important part. How about Brad and Cobb's Bowl Selection Pyramid Party? Live from the Nigerians? Live from the Nigerian cyber. How about this is going to be a Carl's Jr. commercial now. Brad and
Rewind.
Cobb's Bowl Selection Pyramid Party, live from a Nigerian cyber cafe at the Luxor.
That's awesome. You're a real prince, Brad.
Top of the next hour, we'll talk coaching carousel. It's become a ridiculous sideshow of college football.
Don't work yourself, eh? This is Canadian Feed with At Meat Indeed.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Canadian Feed. I'm at Mead Indeed, Canadian Twitter Hat-Trick Club member for J More Sports on Fox Sports Radio and contributor here on YogurtEater.com. Over the past couple of episodes, I've been showing you some recipes that I've come up with. I hope that you've had a chance to try them out and that you enjoyed them and that you haven't clogged your arteries too much. But I'm not the only Canadian that has wonderful recipes. There's a lot of restaurants spread across this country that have tasty dishes waiting for you to try. So I've decided to track these places down and showcase them here on Canadian Feed. This week's episode, I'm going to be talking about Dunn's famous restaurant in downtown Vancouver, BC. Dunn's was established in 1927 in Montreal. It started when a man named Meyer Dunn noticed the shift workers around where he lived did not have any quality food to eat nearby. So he jumped on the opportunity and started supplying them with a Montreal smoked meat sandwich recipe that his parents gave him. The factory workers loved it, and he opened up shop the same year. And then, after that, he opened up more and more locations around Montreal. Dunn's famous restaurant stretched across the country and opened up a single store in downtown Vancouver starting in November 2011, which makes them unique in the fact that they are the only smoked meat sandwich restaurant in Vancouver, and they serve the sandwiches the authentic way. What they do is they take a 10 to 15 pound brisket, which is sent to them from Montreal, and then they steam them with their custom-made steamers in store and hand carve every sandwich to order. It is the tradition of the hand carving that makes the sandwiches stand out from the rest, because when you hand carve them, while the brisket is still hot, you are able to cut against the grain and you don't have to tear the meat apart as you would get from slicing it on a machine. Before the smoked meat gets to Vancouver, it is prepared in Montreal, where it is dry cured in a secret blend of spices for 12 days before being smoked for up to 17 hours. At this point, it's wrapped up and sent out to Vancouver, where they steam the brisket at a super high temperature for 3 to 4 hours until it's very tender and ready to be thinly sliced. Some of the other dishes that Dunn's offers is a stuffed matzo ball soup, smoked meat sliders, barbecue beef sandwiches, and fig and brie sandwiches. Dunn's Famous also has a Reuben sandwich that is quite tasty, and if there's one dish that is a rival of the giant Montreal smoked meat sandwich, it's Dunn's Famous strawberry cheesecake, both of which have won numerous awards and have been featured on live television. Their strawberry cheesecake is unique in that it takes 5 days to completely make. They source most of the ingredients all the way from Montreal so that they can have authentic taste people recognize from their childhoods. Their chef must mix all the ingredients together and let the mix sit in the cooler for 1 full day. Next, he bakes anywhere from 10 to 15 cakes at a time, slowly rotating them around the oven until the tops are slightly crisp but the center is still soft. He lets the cooked cake sit in the cooler another full day to harden slightly. Day 3 is where he dresses the cake in fresh strawberries, a cookie crumble, and a strawberry glaze. He then lets the cake sit for the glaze to thicken on the cake. On day 4, he cuts each 8 to 9 pound cake into 10 pieces, and then he lets each individual piece sit on its own for a full day before serving. The flavors in their cheesecake is like a good pasta sauce. It gets better with age. On day 5, the cheesecake is ready to serve. Some other desserts that Dunn's offers is an apple crumble, a carrot cake, a triple chocolate cake, and a chocolate sundae. Dunn's also offers 6 different types of signature poutine dishes made with hand-cut Kennebec French fries and served with fresh cheese curds. There's the Quebecois, cheese curds and Dunn's special gravy. There's the Duns, which is cheese curds, done special gravy, and chopped Montreal smoked meat. There's the peppercorn, cheese curds, and peppercorn sauce. There's the Italienne, which is cheese curds and an Italian meat sauce. There's Dunn's Italian, which is cheese curds and meat sauce with chopped Montreal smoked meat. And there's the vegetarian with cheese curds and vegetarian gravy. Dunn's also offers all-day breakfast as well, which includes Dunn's Eggs Benedict and a smoked meat hash and eggs dish. So there you have it, Dunn's famous restaurant in Vancouver, BC. If you'd like to know more information about the restaurant, their menu, or promotions, you can visit them at dunsfamousbc.com. That's DUNNSFAMOUSBC.com. They also have a Facebook page. And if you're ever in Vancouver, they're located at 827 Seymour Street, downtown. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Canadian Feed. Make sure to tune in to the Tweeting Warrior podcast from Brad Hutchings and Jay Cobb every Saturday right here on yogurteater.com, featuring the next installment of the Canadian Warrior Minute. I'm at Meat Indeed, and you can follow me on Twitter.
Hey, Cobb, don't I sound great today?
Yeah, your voice has real depth to it, Brad. It's not all tinny like mine. Have you been taking voice lessons?
No, Cobb. The only thing that can help my voice is technology, and I opened the wallet last week. I'm now using a blue snowflake USB microphone.
That's cool, Brad. Can you show it to us?
Unfortunately, my setup here is too complicated to show to the viewers. Let me describe it for you. Black, very sturdy, about 10 inches high, fully extended, and about 6 inches around the top. The Grey Blue Dini saw a picture of my mic the other day and commented that the best part of it was that I was talking into blue.
Little boy Blue, he needed the money. Hey, geesh!
Hey, Cobb, I know you feel a little inadequate now with that limp little thing hanging off your ear. Would you like your own blue microphone for Christmas?
Really? You're gonna buy me one?
Yeah, Cobb, if we're gonna pimp sponsors, we gotta both use the products. What color would you like?
Black, of course. Just like yours. Blue snowflake microphone. We wouldn't pimp it if it wasn't awesome.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the TMP. I got one tweet here from Frank Ojeda, who tweets, I would have liked to have seen a 1 in 10 Cowplant bowl game because they might just have been due to turn this season around. Hashtag the TMP. Way to go, Frank Ojeda. That's at UCLA Dodger Dog. Follow him on Twitter. He is a Twitter Hat Trick Club member and a Twitter Hat Trick winner. We got some. We had an exciting.
I'm here.
Hey, Brad.
I'm here.
Hey.
You know what? Before you read the tweet, I was just commenting just how well your heavy breathing over the blue snowflake mic commercial was amazing, Cobb.
Oh, thanks, Brad.
Oh, gotta hit your mic off, buddy. Let's do our top 70. How about that? Let me hit the tape rewind. We'll start that. So as Cobb said earlier, he and I analyzed all the bowl games and came up with our TheTMP top 70 rankings of college football teams. We're going to spend the rest of the hour powering through our end of season rankings. We would appreciate your calls and tweets about them.
Call us on GoToMeeting, meeting ID 435-662-317, and tweet us with the hashtag TheTMP.
And speaking of which, on the phone right now, on the GoToMeeting celebrity Geico Insurance Hotline, I've got French Fry Phil. What's up, French Fry Phil?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much. What's up? We wanted to let you help us with our the TMP top 70, if you'd like, or if you'd like to say something to everybody first, you could do that.
Well, the only thing I was thinking of for sports take was last week. Cobb tweeted out something about a pick six. And then I was kind of knocking the overuse of the phrase pick six in 2013. And then Bludini came in and he said, "Whatever happened to Soup and Score?" And then all of a sudden, we got some scooping scores happening in the bowl games last week. So, Blue Genie was right with Cop Monkey Bear, so I think he'll probably be right for 2014 and scoop and score.
That is a great, great point. There was a scoop and score by Andrew Luck in the Colts win against the Chiefs. He actually, he handed off the ball to Donald Brown. He fumbled it, and he scooped and scored on his own teammate's fumble. That's a great call by Phil and a great call by Blue Dini.
Quite a scoop you got there.
Zing!
I think you scored. All right, so FFP. Thank you.
That was a little late, but you deserve it.
I mean, it's all about timing. So FFP, we're gonna go through 70 through 61 here, and I'd like to know what you think about these rankings. Our number 70 ranked team is Washington State. They finished the season at 6-7 and lost to Colorado State, who was 8-6, 48-45 in their bowl game. You think they're a good pick for number 70?
For number 70?
Yeah, just say yes. This is number 70. This is kind of a bit, right? That we're talking about the 70th ranked team.
Oh, that's
okay.
awesome, man. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
The 69th ranked team, Rutgers. They finished 6-7. They lost to Notre Dame at 9-14, 29-16. 68, Tulane, 7-6. They lost to Louisiana Lafayette, ended up 9-4, 24-21 in their bowl game. Ohio, 7-6, lost to East Carolina, a 10-3 team. How do you match up a 7-6 team to a 10-3 team? Anyway, they lost 37-20. They're our 67th ranked team. Our 66th ranked team, Colorado State, 8-6. They beat Washington State, a 6-7 team, a losing team after a bowl game. And they beat them 48-45. Little Colorado State beating up on a Pac-12 team. Number 65, Boise State.
They got to be 65, right?
They're 66. Because Boise State, the once proud Boise State with their blue field and their head coach who was just too cool for school. What was his name again, Cobb? He went to Washington.
Chris Peterson. Well, no, he didn't.
Right.
Yeah, he went to Washington.
Joined UW. Anyway, they're our 65th ranked team. They lost to Oregon State, a 7-6 team. Middle of the pack mediocrity of the Pac-12. They lost to them 38-23.
I'm not sure if Chris Peterson coached in that game, so they might have won had he been there.
I'm not sure about that.
So they might have even moved up 2 or 3 spots, but I would have to verify
they're
that.
They're at 65 for their coach jettisoning their crappy program and their crappy field. 64, Buffalo, 8-5, lost to San Diego State, another 8-5 team, 49-24. We've got UNLV, who lost to North Texas, 36-14. And then number 62, I know that this is one that's very close to French Fry Phil's heart, Michigan! Ended the season 7-6 after losing to Kansas State, 31-14. How do you feel about that, French Fry Phil?
That's probably where it should be.
Is there any room for them to improve next year? Do you feel there's any room for them to improve next year? Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of room. I think that they'll probably move up. They're gonna probably be like, Michigan always has been like the school up north, like the big school, like how we have USC down here. Or I guess Ohio State. I've heard of them too. But whenever they're like lowerly ranked, then they kind of do good. So I like it when they're ranked really low like that. Then they come out of nowhere and do good.
61, Oregon State, 7-6. They beat Boise State, 8-5. And at number 60, Bowling Green, 10-4. They lost to a 7-6 Pitt team, 30-27.
Wait. Bowling Green is 10-4?
Yeah. After the bowl game. After losing their bowl game, they're 10-4.
So they came into the bowl game 10-3.
Yes. They're officially. They're the worst 10-4 team in the history of this country.
But I mean, there's a reason Pitt's name is Pitt. Like, there's a reason Pitt's name is their last name, because they Pitt.
That's right.
So they can't even. This is too high for them. Like, forget about it. Like Bowling Green, like this is too. I don't even think they should have been in a bowl game. I mean, I guess this is the problem I have with it. They shouldn't even have been in a bowl game in the first place. But because they have a record 10-3 going into a bowl game that they're going to lose to a pitiful Pitt team.
But didn't they win their conference, Bowling Green?
What? Is it the MAC conference?
I think they won the MAC. Didn't they win the MAC conference? I think they did.
Name me one other team in the MAC conference.
Louisville?
Case closed. They shouldn't even be in the top 70. They're the worst 2-10-3, worst 10-4 team in the country. Get them out of the bowl game. Get the automatic bid out of there.
This is a very contentious 70 through 60 slots in our TMP top 70, Cobb.
Do you even know? You know what? Okay, they're called Bowling Green. Do you know what their team colors are? Orange and white.
It's not green. I was gonna say not green.
It's not green.
It's
Not green. It means we don't make money because we play in a crappy conference and we have no business being in the TMP top 70.
You know, on another podcast, I heard Maryland described as a football powerhouse by the interviewee. He was talking about the costs of running college football programs at all these schools, and he talked about Maryland as a football powerhouse. Football powerhouse Maryland comes in at 59 in our top 70. A 7-6 team after their bowl game. They lost to Marshall, 31-20. 58, we have Syracuse, 7-6. They beat Minnesota, an 8-5 team, 21-17. But you realize they came into the game 6-6. How does a team they could have come out of the 6-7. They could have been as bad as Washington State. What was that other crappy team? Rutgers. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment, all these 7-6 teams. Cobb, I'm so embarrassed. Would you take over at 57 for me?
I don't want to go to 57. 57 is Pitt. Pitt beat Bowling Green, the 10-3 team. 30-27.
Bowling Green's 10-4 now after losing to Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going, Cobb.
56. Middle Tennessee lost to Navy. 24-26. Middle Tennessee ended the season 8-5. Navy went to 9-4. 55. Georgia Tech 7-6. Lost to Ole Miss. 25-17. Ole Miss finishes at 8-5. These teams are just barely hovering over 500. This is gross. 54. Boston College.
Cobb.
Boston College lost to Arizona. 42-19. Why was Boston College even playing Arizona? Arizona belongs on this list. Boston College doesn't belong anywhere near this list. 53. North Carolina 7-6 beat Cincinnati 9-4, 39-17. 7-6 again, disgusting. 52. Minnesota Golden Gophers lost to the Orange Men of Syracuse 21-17. Minnesota finished 8-5. Syracuse finished 7-6. 51. Utah State 9-5 beat number 23 team in the country, Northern Illinois, 21-14. Northern Illinois finished the season 12-2, but they lost to a Utah State team barely cracking the top 50. Actually, just outside the top 50. Disgusting. Louisiana Lafayette in at number 50 beat Tulane, the aforementioned Green Wave, 24-21. They're 9-4.
I need you to stop there because I'm inserting teams as we speak. These teams are so terrible. I'm going to insert one here. I'm going to insert Houston at the 49 spot. They lost to Vanderbilt. I don't know what they lost. What they lose? 41-24. And how do they play so late in the season? This is embarrassing just in and of itself that they're playing so late in the season. I'm disgusted by it. Well, anyway, I'm moving all these other teams down, so you could just like.
Well, it's pretty easy to beat a team when their coach is halfway out the door. Vanderbilt's James Franklin. His head's not even in it anymore.
No, not at all. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. We'll see Vanderbilt later. Why don't you go on with these, but just reduce a number? So, like when you're on
San Diego State,
as we speak, San Diego State is the 48 team. You see how that works?
Yeah, they beat Buffalo 49-24. Buffalo was 8-5. 48th was San Diego State. 47th, BYU lost to Washington. We've already talked about Washington. We don't need to talk about them anymore. They got beat 31-16. They need a new coach. Number 46, Old Mississippi beat Georgia Tech 25-17. 45.
Embarrassing, Cobb.
Mississippi State beat Rice 44-7. 44. Rice lost to Mississippi State 7-44. This Those two belong together like that, and they belong out of here. Get them out of here. I'm tired of
But you
this.
know what? It's just for the sheer. I mean, even though Mississippi State beat Rice, I think it just because they suck, that both teams suck. We're gonna rank Rice ahead of Mississippi State by one ranking because this is our top 70.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what Mississippi State needs? Less cowbell. That's what they need. I'm tired of it.
Well, Cobb,
Virginia
why don't you
Tech.
continue- What's Virginia Tech ranked? 43rd, right?
43rd. Who did they lose to? UCLA Bruins, the team that runs LA. Arizona, they beat Boston College 42-19. They're ranked 42nd. North Texas is ranked number 41.
Hey, wait, stop here. I want to address something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I am offended that UCLA runs LA, but at the same time I'm realistic. And it's true that they do. I will concede right now that they currently run Los Angeles. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And USC needs to, it may take many years of rebuilding, but one day we'll run this town again too. Again, maybe.
The porn industry runs LA.
That's right, the porn industry.
They run the Valley. They don't run LA.
Cobb, where are we in our countdown here?
We're at North Texas. North Texas is 41st.
Stop at North Texas.
But they beat UNLV 36-14.
Okay, let's stop right there a minute. French Fry Phil, how do you feel about this? Just so far, how do you feel about all these teams? Give us a minute on how you feel about them.
I don't even know why there's a ranking for such a big ranking. Like, who cares? Is what I think. Like, give me like the top 20 or something. That's all. I'm not saying that you guys. I'm just saying like in general.
Well, no, we have 70 teams in the bowls. They're all going to get ranked. Everybody gets ranked. Everybody gets a ranking. Everybody gets a homer.
If you're in a bowl game,
30. I got you. I'm with you on your opening spill. 35 balls is ridiculous. That's like now I get it. Now I'm putting it together.
Yeah. Now I'm going to insert a team here. I'm going to insert Ball State. Everybody likes balls. Eat balls. But
oh boy,
they lost to Arkansas, 23-20.
It's not our Kansas. It's your Kansas.
Yep.
Well, it's somebody else's Kansas.
I have a tweet here from Frank Ojeda at UCLA Dodger Dog. Michigan can improve if they remove 7 schools from the Big Ten. I think that's a shot.
That's probably true.
That's a shot across.
That's
the
a
bow,
shot.
That is.
That's a shot across the Twitter sphere.
You know what? I'm going to insert. I'm going to insert Cobb at 40 and 39. 40 is going to be Ball State because they lost to Arkansas, and then I'm going to put Arkansas 39th because they beat Ball State. So you're at 38 with Cincinnati. Why don't you read a couple here?
Marshall was that make him 37?
Marshall's 37. That's right. See, we're even updating these as we go because
this is live.
It's
this
just disgusting. This whole thing.
There's just too many terrible teams and there's too many terrible bowl games. Jeez, this exhibition season should be exercised. God. Marshall, 37th. Beat Maryland, barely, 21-20. East Carolina, they moved down to 30. Now I lost my count.
You forgot Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's 36. They beat Houston, 41-24. And then we have East Carolina. I know it's not even there because they suck so bad. I had to put them in somewhere.
Teams are terrible.
They're terrible. East Carolina, 35th. They beat Ohio. 37-20. This is a 10-3 team matched against a 6-6 team. We went on this before. How does this even match up this way? Where's
the star power? Where are you gonna get your ratings from? What bowl game did they play in?
Now we get to the really awful teams. Previously ranked number 23 Northern Illinois, a 12-2 team. Who'd they lose to, Cobb?
They lost to Utah State. A 9-5 team.
State.
Previously 8-5. Yeah.
They're now ranked 34th.
Yep.
At the 33 slot, we have Notre Dame, 9-4. They beat Rutgers, who ended the season 6-7.
Losing.
I hate the Irish just as much as anybody. Okay, but seriously, why do you put them up against a 500 team in a bowl game?
And why do you play this bowl game in Yankee Stadium? Disgrace. I don't want to see Notre Dame anywhere near Yankee Stadium. I don't even want to see the Yankees in Yankee Stadium.
You know, Cobb, I think we need to turn off the discuss now and feel proud because in the number 32 slot of our poll, we have Miami, a 9-4 team that lost to a 12-1 Louisville team, 36-9.
That ranking is too high. That ranking is too high. Look at the score of that game. They lost 36-9. They lost to a guy who should have won the Heisman. They lost to a team coached by the guy who should have been at Texas already. Disgusting.
What are you doing, Cobb? I try to make this favor your team a little bit. We're talking about Miami. I know.
Well, this is why it hurts so much. It's too close to home. It's too with everything stacked against them. There's no way this game should have been that much of a blowout. I mean, Louisville. I mean, it's not like Louisville had any players from Miami or anything.
No, they did not.
Just their whole roster.
All right, our 31st ranked team, Navy, 9-4. Let's go midshipmen. They beat Middle Tennessee. That's not left Tennessee or right Tennessee. Which the distance? Did you know the distance between left Tennessee and right Tennessee? It's like closer to Canada from left Tennessee than it is to right Tennessee. This is Middle Tennessee we're talking about. Navy beat Middle Tennessee 24-6.
I can see that, and I only got one eye.
And Navy's our number 31 position. We have a new tweet. You're not keeping up, buddy. Oh yes.
Get at me.
Apparently you are, because I'm not keeping up. Because Frank Ojeda tweets, Michigan can improve if they remove 7 of the schools from the B1G10.
There you go. Again, that's a shot. It's a shot, John. Phil, French Fry Phil is taking shots from left and right Tennessee, from all over the place.
This is just terrible. Where are we? On number 30?
Iowa.
30 Iowa lost to number 16 LSU.
Ugh. What is a 30th ranked team playing a 16th ranked team for?
I don't. They split the difference and end up at 24.
That's how you supposed. Is that how you're supposed to end your season? A team that's like half, like twice the team that you are. That's like 16 spots away from 14 or 15 spots away from your ranked. That's ridiculous.
That's just not even showing any respect to Iowa to make them play the number 16 team in the country. Terrible.
None whatsoever.
29 Texas Tech. This is our ranking here. Texas Tech. They ended up 8-5. They beat the previously number 14 ranked Arizona State, who was a 10-4 team, who beat up on UCLA. No, they did not. They beat up on USC.
They beat up on USC.
Yes, they did. They got our coach fired. ASU got our coach fired and then couldn't even show up for their bowl game.
And their coach speaks into a nipple. Have you seen his headset? It's worse than mine.
It's terrible. 28 Washington, without their head coach, they actually beat BYU 31-16.
Ugh. Nauseating. Makes me nauseous. They beat them.
27 Texas. Well, we already burned on this in the open. But our 27th ranked team, Texas, lost to number 10 Oregon.
Of course they did. They have no business in that game.
None.
It's just a game on paper. Just a game to make paper.
What happened to our 26th ranked team?
Georgia?
Yeah.
They lost to Nebraska, 24-19.
Embarrassing. Our 25th ranked team, of course, Kansas State. Who'd they beat, French Fry Phil?
What's that? I'm sorry. I was doing
Kansas.
work.
You're doing work. You're not even paying attention to our top.
He doesn't need to pay attention.
Our
Ask him
25th ranked team.
I want to hang with you guys.
It's all right.
Got a little...
I got you. It's all right. You're forgiven this time.
He just needs to answer.
Our 25th ranked team, Kansas State. Who'd they beat? Do you remember?
Kansas State.
Who'd they beat, French
They
Fry
beat
Phil?
OU, I think.
No, they beat Michigan.
Michigan.
Oh, Michigan.
I'm gonna go out on this and say I don't think French Fry can say Michigan anymore. He has to say Michigan. He can't even use the M anymore. I'm taking that power away from him.
The M is gone.
He's got to act like an Ohio State fan or something. He can't say the word.
Cobb, we gotta
I'll be
finish
honest,
this up in
year,
5 minutes
I
here.
kind of,
What's that, Phil?
At the start of the year. No, I was just gonna say after Michigan just started losing, I just kind of tuned out, man. I just went through the numb cycle of that whole season. And then I was like, oh, okay, a bowl game. I'll check in for one more game, and then they lost.
I think that's a big problem for a lot of college football fans. Unless you're a fan of one of the top 2 teams in the nation, as soon as your team loses,
Right.
you're done. You're like, I'm already on to the NFL. NFL has a playoff system. They don't have any meaningless bowl games in the NFL or whatever.
Where are we, Cobb? 24, Fresno State, previously number 20. They lost to number 25, previously number 25, USC, 45-20. That was an ass kicking.
Where's that coach now?
Well, I don't know. I think might be headed to Florida, of all things.
Is he getting a Hummer?
I don't know. No, Coach O didn't even coach that game. That was Coach Helton coached that game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Our
Would have been a lot funnier if he did coach it.
Yes. We were being really generous with ASU. We ranked them 23rd after they lost to Texas Tech 37-23.
Mm-hmm.
Our number 22 team, Nebraska, they beat previous 22 team, Georgia, 24-19, took their spot.
Yep. Said, I'm going to take it.
Yes.
Get at me. Duke
number
lost.
21 team, Duke. They lost to our previously number 21 team, Texas A&M, 52-48. We had to move teams that lost. We had to move them up in our rankings because these other teams shipped their pants.
Because they're just so horrible.
That's how bad this was.
It's just so horrible.
What was our number 20 team, Cobb?
Texas A&M. They slot right there, right in front of Duke.
Because they beat Duke 52-48 in a real thriller.
Because of the Magic Man, Johnny Manziel. Hey, did you see that Johnny Manziel was doing the tomahawk chop last night?
I did not. Was he doing a good job with it?
He was at a FSU club or some sort of FSU event, and he started doing the tomahawk chop and the So
Yeah, he probably went home with all their cheerleaders.
At least half of them.
Yes. Number 19, Wisconsin, lost to number 9, South Carolina, 34-24. We're just going to keep them slotted at 19. That was expected. Number 18, USC, they beat Fresno State. It was a strong showing by the Trojans, so we moved them up to 18 on that 45-20 performance in the Purple Dragon, Meineke, Las Vegas, Purple Bowl, whatever it was.
It was the Battle of Bakersfield, man.
That's right, it was the Battle of Bakersfield. And who won the Battle of Bakersfield?
Cody Kessler, I believe.
He did. Number 17 slot goes to Louisville, who beat Miami 36-9.
It was beat.
Yep, read them, Cobb.
16, LSU beat Iowa. 15, Alabama moves down from number 3 all the way to number 15 because they lost to Oklahoma. A Boomer Sooner walloped them, 45-31. Previously ranked number 6 Baylor moves down to number 14 because they lost to 15th ranked UCF. 52-42. Where's the defense in these games? This is sickening. 13th ranked Oklahoma State stays at 13 after they lost to Missouri. 41-31. 12, Ohio State lost to previously 12th ranked Clemson. 40-35.
Yeah, how about that, Aaron, not Amber? You like that? Tastes good?
They end the season with 2 losses in a row after going
Number
24 in a row before.
Our number 11 team, UCLA, beat Virginia Tech 42-12, and they do own LA right now. Number 10 team, University of Central Florida. That's not University of Middle Florida, that's Central Florida. They beat Baylor 52-42.
It's right near Apopka.
Yes. Shout out to Virginia Gamecock. His number 9 South Carolina Gamecocks beat number 19 Wisconsin 34-24, and they keep their number 9 slot.
Just keep it warm.
Yeah. Number 8. Moving up from number 10 is Oregon. They beat Texas 30-7. Our 7th slot, Oklahoma, they beat Alabama. They kicked Alabama's butt up and down the field. Boomer Sooner. Hato's daddy and Hato's mommy are very proud.
Pour some sugar on me.
Finish me off here, Cobb.
What's that, Phil?
Well,
What happens if Bob Stoops leaves?
Bob Stoops isn't going to leave. What's he going to do? Coach the Cowboys?
Talk about the Lions and the Browns.
Wow. Well, then Oklahoma's host. They'll be has-been. They'll be. We'll have to expand to a top 80 just to cover Oklahoma next year if Stoops leaves.
Absolutely.
Yes. Number 6, Missouri. They beat Oklahoma State 41-31. Number 5, Clemson. All the way up to number 5 they jump after beating Ohio State 40-35.
They earned it.
Who do we have slotted at number 4?
Number 4, Stanford lost and moves up to number 4 after losing to number 4 Michigan State. Michigan State moves up to number 3 after beating previously ranked 5th-ranked Stanford 24-20.
Yeah, but we move them both up because that was a close, probably not as close as the score indicates, but close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Stanford should.
Well, they both move up because Ohio State just sucks so bad, and Alabama too.
They were terrible. For our number 2 and number 1 slots, I guess we have to wait for tonight. Who you got, Cobb?
FSU, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go contrarian on you and take Auburn, and
okay.
I'll be consoling the Apopka crew after the game, but I'm gonna take Auburn straight up, no points.
Okay. I don't think we haven't seen any defense yet in this bowl season, and I think FSU has a defense to just control the whole game from start to finish.
Yep. Let's go to some music, and then we'll come back in about 3 minutes, okay, Cobb?
All right.
All right.
Hey, I'll let you guys go, man. See you guys later.
Thank you.
See you, Phil.
And what happened to our music here? Oh.
Music! Music!
Welcome to the Tweeting Warrior podcast with Brad Hutchings and Jay Cobb. We're podcasting live on YouTube this afternoon until 2 p.m. Pacific. We're having a great time today. If you're watching this, please share a link with your friends. How you doing this afternoon, Cobb?
Great to be live on YouTube with the TMP, Brad. Hey, everyone out there in Warriorland, welcome to the Tweeting Warrior podcast, home of the premier source of sports fan fiction.
Here's how to interact with us. To tweet our show, hashtag TheTMP. No need to tweet at either Cobb or me. We'll figure it out. If you tweet our show before 1:30 p.m., your tweet will probably get read. If you'd like to call the show, you'll need to install the GoToMeeting app for your phone, tablet, Mac, or PC. Meeting ID is 435-662-317. That's on the YouTube page. Ed said if you got one. Sorry, no phoning it in to GoToMeeting.
So, hashtag your tweets, the TMP, and call us with GoToMeeting. Meeting ID 435-662-317. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a coaching carousel, round, round, round. Do you like my song, Brad?
Just get to the coaches, Cobb.
Dude, I'm 80s, bro. Anyway, Charlie Strong finally agreed to become head ball coach for the University of Texas, leaving Louisville and taking his talents to Austin.
Why do we always have to say taking his talents to?
Because of Braun. Not a real shock that Strong took the job. It wasn't a real shock Strong was offered the job. And I'm going to skip all this stuff I wrote before because it doesn't really apply anymore.
Yeah.
Go to the...
You're shocked.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
You're shocked. I'm shocked too. Why don't they just tell these programs, I have a contract and I'm going to see my contract out?
I don't feel they have to. Coaches get fired, and if you're going to wait around for your contract to end, you're just going to be replaced by the young assistant coach you have. If you're not looking out for yourself or your family. You got to.
Loyalty pays in sports, Cobb. Look at Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs.
Okay, look at the Miami Heat. Eric Spoelstra has only known one NBA team his entire professional life. He started as a video coordinator and worked his way up through to become assistant coach and then become a head coach of the Miami Heat. And I agree, loyalty pays in sports. Loyalty paid off for Eric Spoelstra, but it didn't pay off for Stan Van Gundy. Most coaches, whether they coach in college or pros, are more than likely to be a Van Gundy than a Spoelstra.
What do you think of the Miami Hurricanes coaching situation in regards to Al Golden not leaving?
Well, I mean, over the weekend it looked like he was thinking about it. He took some meetings with the people at Penn State.
Okay, so why did he take a meeting with Penn State? Let's talk about that.
Why he took a meeting, I don't know. He played at Penn State. He was a really good tight end for them in the Joe Paterno days.
Right. So I think that's a good enough reason to take that meeting. That's excusable, even though he's the coach at Miami. That's one place that could be considered his dream job, or maybe he feels he could rescue their program or whatever. That's excusable. But in the end, what did he tell him?
He didn't tell him. I don't know what he told him. He didn't tell him anything. All I know is he had meetings today with reporters in Miami, and the only thing he talked about was spring football in Coral Gables for the Miami Hurricanes, and he talked about his upcoming recruiting class. Again, when you talk about recruits, you can't mention names, but they actually have some guys that are now enrolled for spring semester, and he talked about those guys and said he looked forward to them, being contributors to the upcoming Hurricanes season.
Well, I think he ended up doing the right thing. He ended up basically saying, this is where I'm staying, and this is what I'm doing, and I'm not in consideration for these other jobs. Good on him.
Yeah, good on him, and good on me as a Miami fan, because Miami has the projected number 3 recruiting class in the country this year, and that's mostly due to Al Golden's work with local high schools. He's now getting those local players to come back to the University of Miami, to stay at the U, and keep them from bolting for other programs like the Florida Gators, Florida State Seminoles, now programs like UCF, and yes, even schools like Louisville.
Well, and of course USC. We get a lot of great players from Florida, thanks to crappy recruiting by the U.
You're welcome. How's USC doing?
they're projected to have a top 20 recruiting class at this point, with 3 coaches involved, and yeah, and they're and the new team not really even on the ground yet, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
They're just
Well,
phoning it in.
the Hurricanes, they went through similar things with their coaching shuffles and possible sanctions and their self-imposed sanctions, having up and down draft classes. Again, it's well documented that Louisville was able to snatch up a lot of those players because of all the troubled waters in Coral Gables on the University of Miami campus. The greatest example being Teddy Bridgewater, probably.
Yes,
He was
Cobb,
someone that bolted.
You wrote an excellent take. I appreciate it.
Hey, Brad. How about if we tell the folks about the great software we're using to take calls?
Yeah, it's GoToMeeting.
Is that meet with 2 E's or meet with EA?
Funny you ask. When my dad was a manager with a local phone company, he used to refer to his meetings as meetings with an EA. I guess everybody brought their meat and they sat around and talked about stuff.
Baloney.
Exactly. Well, now with GoToMeeting, there's no need to go anywhere. Just keep your meat at your own desk and get together with people anywhere in the world. See their faces, hear their voices, watch their screens.
It's like the future, except it's here today.
Yeah, and I don't know whose promo code to enter, but I pay $29 a month and get unlimited meetings with up to 25 other participants. So, Cobb, you've heard our guests and callers, right?
Yeah, are they calling in on GoToMeeting?
They are. And GoToMeeting makes it easy for me to see who is called in and let them talk when we're ready for them. Software costs them nothing, and the voice over IP call is free too.
GoToMeeting, powering call-ins to the TMP Live.
All right. What do we got going on now, Brad? Let's go to the Twitter sphere. I got a tweet from our last caller, French Fry Phil. He tweets.
Yes,
Hey,
read his
hey.
tweet, then we'll go on. Sorry, I was muted, so you wouldn't hear me sniffle.
Sorry I had to go, guys. I heard some dogs barking and figured that's when you guys take breaks from the TMP. And again, that was from French Fry Phil, who just joined us last hour. He had some great top 70 football takes. We appreciate it, Phil, and thanks for the tweet.
Yes, I think now we're going to move on to our guest host, who can't be with us, but we're going to introduce him anyway because when he listens to the podcast, I just want to thoroughly shame the guy. How do you feel about this, Cobb?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
just do it. This is a terrible idea, but we're going to shame him anyway. This man needs no introduction. When Shim Richards isn't sitting high up in his suite at the Ritz-Carlton in Denver, and Drew Ranakovich isn't gently chewing the heads off a river trout, Travante Jaramillo is running the state of Colorado. A recent inductee into the Twitter Hat Trick Club, Travante hosts the original Jay Moore-inspired podcast, Go From There, where he has interesting guests like me and Cobb.
Travante joins us via Google Plus Hangouts.
Actually, he doesn't join us.
He doesn't. Travante would have joined us on Google Plus Hangouts. He would have pulled up a chair and picked us up this hour, but TJ didn't. If you'd like to still tweet at TJ, hashtag your tweets to TMP. Tweet him on Twitter at GFTPOD.
No, you know what? If he's not going to sit in with us, don't tweet him on Twitter.
Don't tweet him on Twitter. Don't follow him at GFTPOD.
Even better, unfollow him. Actually, block him. Just twitter.com/GFTPOD. Block this user.
Or you can just report at GFTPOD as spam, and that does the work just as well. If you'd like to call the TMP, use the GoToMeeting app, meeting ID 435-662-317, and maybe you can take TJ's place. What do you say, Brad?
I'd say, how's it going, TJ? And then now, how about you pretend to be TJ?
Hey, Brad.
How's it going, TJ?
TJ, is it here? You're talking to Bane. Bane is going to take over your podcast. I would assume he would just talk in a Bane voice for the first 3 minutes. I don't know.
Probably. Maybe we should ask Bane about having a recording studio in his bedroom.
How does Bane feel? Bane feels like he's going to take over your podcast from his bedroom. How else is he going to lure tattooed ladies into his studio if he doesn't put it in his bedroom where the bed is?
Yes. I have some questions for Travanti, and we could mix in some callers and tweeters if we had any callers and tweeters. But seeing as we don't, I'm just going to have to ask these questions. Why the hell can't you pronounce your own name correctly?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Should I answer this as Bane or should I answer this as TJ? I think I'm gonna answer it as TJ.
Yeah. I'll tell you to pronounce Bane.
Brad, I'd like to pronounce my name correctly, but I don't think anyone would understand it.
That's all you got?
Who's conducting the interview? Is it me or you? Who's the interviewer? Who's the interviewee? Is this my show or is this your show?
This is my show, but I just ask. Actually, it's Cobb's show too. But I just ask a couple of questions, and I let you spout on for 2 or 3 minutes, so I can go dig up a phone number. You got to pick me up here, TJ, Bane, whoever you are, fake TJ.
Fake TJ. Well, I don't know. Like covering sports is kind of a new territory for me.
Another question here. I want to talk about poaching guests for our respective podcasts. We've never poached one of your guests. Ooh. And yet, you, TJ, have taken Cobb, Brad, Sloan, Scott, Chim, and fake Barry Katz. Actually, TJ, you haven't had Cobb on by himself. Cobb must not be good enough for you or something. You want to explain that?
I think Cobb is just biding his time. He's plotting and scheming, and if Cobb would call me, it's not that I haven't reached out to Cobb. It's just that Cobb hasn't reached back, and that's no homo. And if what I would love is I'd love to get Cobb in Colorado, and maybe we could go out and do some day drinking and do some Colorado activities. But Cobb's probably too busy for that. He's got a podcast. He tweets a lot. He's trying to get more followers than Brad. I think he's only like 3 followers away from reaching Brad's. I know Brad and Cobb are really trying to get to the 500 mark first. Of course Brad has the early lead. But Cobb he has the 2 Twitter hat trick wins to Brad's 1. Cobb has the Twitter hat trick winner song that gets played every day for 4 million listeners. Of course, Brad has the YouTube channel, and he has the POB video where POB is doing the live recap of the cop, not the cop monkey bear, but just the bear monkey race in China, and you have to epitomize the pay attention, Brad Hutchins. Pay attention, Brad Hutchins. Those words were heard around the world.
Yeah, there's no pay attention, Travanti Jaramillo, and there's no pay attention, Jay Cobb. Thank you.
There you go.
Travanti,
all right.
Could you set up an interview for us with Rob O'Leary?
I think Rob should go.
I'm kidding.
I don't think we want Rob O'Leary.
We don't want Rob.
There's really not any there. If there was we don't want Rob. I think if there's one guest that we would want to poach from TJ, it would be Farrah Abraham.
Yeah, you can go poach her if you like.
Yeah, I don't really want to.
Hey, TJ, why don't you have any animals? Not even like a snake or a fish. What's going on with that? You can hear Cobb's animals, by the way.
Cobb's animals sound like they're chasing a fire truck or like a post office worker or something. The reason I don't have any animals is because I do a podcast and I don't need them barking or interrupting my show. And I got so much cool equipment in my bedroom. There's really not a space for a hamster or a snake or a gerbil or some rat. Some rat type creatures. I'm not really someone to take in an animal and domesticate it. I need an animal to be out there and be free range.
Fake TJ, we got a tweet for you here. This is from French Fry Phil. You may not know of French Fry Phil. He's a really cool cat, but he tweets the show. What are your thoughts about the Pizza Hut Ace of Base commercial?
I don't know.
Have you seen the Pizza Hut
What?
Ace of Base commercial?
Where can I see the Ace of Base Pizza Hut
You know what
commercial? Bane doesn't
you
have
know
a
what he's-
TV.
Yeah, right. He's got a. How could he have a TV? He's got a recording studio in his bedroom. There's no room for a TV.
Yeah.
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 French fry. What a dumb question, French fry, Phil. How do you not know? TJ, what do you have against sports? Why do you only like stand-up comedy and tattoos? What's so great about those?
If sports was on a podcast, I'd probably watch it. But I mean, you can't get a podcast of the Super Bowl, can you? I don't think I've ever heard one or seen one. I mean, if it existed, I probably would know about it. Don't you think?
You might. Have we exhausted picking on Travanti for not promising he'd show up and then canceling on us?
I think so. I think it probably went on about like 6 minutes too long. It was kind of hard to get in the TJ mind space and react that way.
That's why we'd really like him. We had a special guest. I texted you a phone number and a access code. Maybe our special guest could give us a call.
Oh yeah, let's reach out to our special guest.
Why don't you do that? You know, have we announced who our special guest is yet? Maybe we should. We have a guessing game.
You're gonna play with hints and stuff. And maybe the tweeters can figure out who it is. Can they just say? I would just like it if they took blind guesses, just like without any hints. Just like, who would it be? Who could it be? Let me see if it's this guy.
We had great guests. I mean, we had great guesses last week while you were gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we also had great participation last week. What's with all the tweets this week? Or none of the tweets this week? This is crazy.
Maybe. I think everyone's just back to the grind. I mean, the holidays are over, Brad. Everyone's had their eggnog. Everyone's had their fruitcake. Well, probably everyone but Alternative Lifestyle Droopy's had enough fruitcake. You know, they had their New Year's Eve parties. They, you know, like you and I, we probably sheltered our dogs from all the fireworks, and you know, we're busy doing that. And pretty much when that happens, I know that it's the new year, and going back to work and going back to the 9 to 5 is right around the corner.
Well, Mr. Cobb, tell us about your vacation in Miami. What'd you do there? Who'd you see?
I went there to see the Cobb family. You know, grew up there and raised there. My parents still live in the house I grew up in. It's pretty rare, except for like big functions like weddings or stuff, where the whole family actually gets together because we're so spread out. But Snowbeams and I went down there because my sister, who just had a baby girl this past summer, wanted us to be the godparents of her daughter. So we went to a baptism the Sunday after Christmas, and
so Cobb,
that was a big deal.
How's that work? You're asked to be the godparents, and then is there like a time period where you're allowed to think about it?
Time period? I don't think so. It's just I was flattered, and I said I would love to. I just need to check. You know, my sister called me, and I said I just need to bounce it off the wife, and I'm pretty sure. You know, I knew Snowbeams would say sure, definitely.
Well, in some states there actually is a waiting period on becoming godparents, so that you know you don't get pressured into it. You know, like is this your older sister or younger sister?
Older.
Right. So she probably gave you wedgies when you were a kid, and you probably felt bullied into becoming a godparent. Did you have sufficient time to? Did you have sufficient time to think about this?
Are you reading tweets or are you talking to me?
I'm reading tweets and talking to you.
Jesus. I did not feel that I was bullied. Not at all.
Not at all.
No. I felt it was an honor. I wasn't bullied as a child. Well, if I was bullied, it surely wasn't from my sister.
I think we have somebody here. Our special guest. This guest needs no introduction. Well, maybe he does, because we're going to introduce him anyway. We've got Manuel and Gardena. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Manuel? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We're going to have to kind of squeeze this in, but I'm real tired because I have a bad heart.
We have the first hip-hop coach
man,
calling in to the TMP.
You guys ready? Or?
Go for it.
Yeah, you're on live.
All right, here we go. This is a little week 1 reprise of the greatest show on earth. 1, 2, 3. Like little Manny, congratulating Jay on the 1-year Annie of the best show ever, Natty. Jay Moore Sports, where your boy, Matty, spits freestyle flows like rapid fire fatties, as Raider Joe does his play-by-play call, screaming in Hong Kong too. He's now 3 foot tall. Diamond Dan brings the news flash as the werewolfito howls to dash, where interns get respect but no cash. We match to week 53 of Jay's 570 stash. He's rehashed, must hear and can't miss on your AM dial. So listen to this. Es el segundo año, a straight doing daño with J Moore Sports Crew. So go on and follow his lead like Mead Indeed or TMP. Joey from the GG to even me. We're repping JJ on the Much Love Highway. 2014 is here and it's Hip Hop Friday. Word up.
Oh, that was tight. I need to hit the applause button, Brad. Where is it? Yeah! Manuel! Oh, that was spectacular, man.
You. Much love to Jay Cobb. Much love to Brad Hutchings. Tweeting more of your podcast. Coming live and direct right now from Torrance, CA, although I represent Gardena, CA. Much love to all of you guys. Unfortunately, guys, I got to get back.
No problem, Manuel. Hey, quick question. Did you hear the shout-out on my tweet today?
You know what, man? I didn't, bro. I was like in and out, just listening to things. But
Okay.
Is that when you had hit me up?
Yeah, I said I needed a hip hop coach. I wanted to know if you or Maddie were available.
Good looking now. Good looking now. Yeah. What's up, man? And we can always do a rock and rap collaboration because I know, man, you got it down.
There we go. We'll do a Hey Man, you're a hat trick winner rock and rap version. Straight for the best show on radio.
Manuel, thank you.
Best on radio, Jay Moore Sports. Second best show on the waves is the Tweeting More Your podcast. If you don't know, now you know.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. And just a quick note to our listeners is Manuel told us that when he can't get on Fridays because difficulty calling in or he's got to work or whatever else, he's going to drop his rap here on Mondays. So it's a good reason to listen.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Much love.
Thanks a lot, Manuel.
Everybody. Got much love for you guys.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, later.
All right,
That was epic.
I can't stop clapping. That was great.
That was epic.
I'm pumped. I'm absolutely pumped. French Fry Phil wants to know if Manuel has a Twitter account yet. No, he does not.
No, he doesn't. He does. His cousin is on Twitter.
Yes, that would be Joey and Gardena.
Joey D. Yeah, Joey D and Gardena is his primo. And
Great Blue Dini asks us to ask Manuel what he has coming down the pipe. Heyo!
Franco Hita wants to know, is that Bane or Mark Henry? Hashtag the TMP.
I think that's Bane, Henry, TJ. That's who that was.
It's Henry Bane it might be Henry Bane in TJ.
Yes.
He might be south of the border. Of course, it'd probably be more of an accent, but maybe he's left your city, gone south of the water.
Cobb, I had really hoped to have TJ in here this hour. And,
okay, well, maybe am I not cutting it or something? You just want to?
No, you're not. I think what we're gonna, I think we're gonna do here is we had a whole segment cut out, so let's let's.
We don't need segments. We got Brad and Cobb.
What do you want to talk about? Well, I tried to talk to you about Miami, and you.
I don't want to talk about Miami. It's depressing.
Well, you got lost on your godparents, or you're gonna be godparents, or something.
I already
like that.
am. We had the baptism 2 weeks ago.
Could you imagine if you just said no? Would that? What do you think that kid would grow up thinking about Uncle Cobb, Uncle Jay?
That's why you can't say no. It's always an honor just to be asked.
What are your responsibilities? What are the real responsibilities of a godparent?
I don't really know.
What are they in your family? Is it like if something happened to like the real parents, that you'd have to take that little brat on and?
It's just a title. It's really just a title. I think there's no official duties. No cooking duties. No dead guy duties.
This is a niece or a nephew?
Niece.
Niece, and what's the name of the little niece?
Her name is Courtland.
She's
a little, yeah.
It's little niece Courtland. Uncle Jay, I want to go to a movie, and you're my godfather. You gotta take me.
Yeah, pretty much. She's not my first child.
You have other godchildren.
I have other godchildren. I have two nephew godchildren.
You're like the Antonio Cromartie of Godfather.
Yeah, you can say that.
How do you have these godchildren? Are they other brothers and sisters, or are they?
One is my brother's son, and then the other one is my wife's nephew. We're co-godparents of her nephew.
Co-godparents, not like godfather and godmother. It's now co-godparents. Totally
no, it is. It's exactly like godmother and godfather. That's exactly what it was.
Do the kids okay, so let's say I'm a kid. I didn't have any godparents. This is new to me, so I'm trying to understand this. Like, let's say I go ask my mom if I can go play with, like at Jim's house, and mom says, no, you can't. So then I go ask my dad, and I say, Dad, can I go play at Jim's house? And my dad says, well, what'd your mom say? And I go, well, she said no. And he goes, don't ever ask me after you ask your mom and she says no. Okay, now this is the question here. Can I go to my godmother and godfather and ask them?
No.
Hoping that they might say no, but
no.
Okay, so let's say, wait, which niece am I now?
There's no veto power or there's no executive power with becoming a godparent.
What's your niece's name? Kirkland?
Courtland.
Okay, so I'm little niece Courtland. Godfather Jay, I want to go over to Jim's house and play. Can I go over to Jim's house and play?
No. Ask your mother. Ask your father.
I asked my mother and father, and they said I couldn't.
Then you can't. Get out of here. Go home.
Can I ask Godmother Snowbeams?
Sure, go ahead.
Godmother Snowbeams, can I go over to Jim's house and play?
She's busy. She's not able to hear. She's not here to answer your question right now.
Great godparents you are, just not even paying attention to the kid. I think you have to be. You have to be.
That's why we're godparents and not parents. We take care of dogs and we don't even do a good job of that.
Apparently, this is to give you more backbone, because if you were aunts and uncles, you would give these kids everything. Like anything they asked for, you would give them. And then if they asked their parents for something and then the parents said no, you would chastise the parents for saying no because you're the uncle. Because you get to borrow them for a few hours on a weekend, and you get to put them away at the end of the weekend.
That's right.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
I think I understand how this godfather-godmother thing works. It sounds like a good situation, a good arrangement.
So, Brad, how was your weekend? Anything exciting happen?
What exciting did happen? I went out for fish last night. Fish was good.
Okay.
There were nobody complaining about the waitresses. One of the things I've noticed here is all the really good places to eat now have become kind of Chipotle style. You wait in line, you order what you want, and then they bring it to your table. So it's like almost minimal service. But the food is really, really good. I don't think I would have to go really high end to get that meal that I got last night. I got seared ahi tuna with some sweet potato fries. It was really good. Had some shrimp and calamari to take home that was really good. A nice sized bowl of New England clam chowder that was just really delicious. It's kind of cold here. I mean, what was it last night? It's probably about 50 degrees when we went out for dinner. That's cold for Southern California.
At least 59. Yeah.
It might have been. I mean, it was cool enough that I wasn't wearing shorts. I actually had jeans on and not jeans with actual butts in them. I wasn't wearing chaps.
I went out for Mexican food last night, and I was wearing shorts and flip flops, but I had a jacket on.
Well, you also had a flat-billed cap, I'm sure.
Yes, I did have a flat-billed cap. I tweeted out a picture of where I was last night. I went to a Mexican restaurant, and a mariachi band was playing behind me, and I got a snip of that. That was a lot of fun.
What kind of Mexican food did we decide that was last night? Really ghetto Mexican food? Authentic?
Yeah, it was whitewashed. It was whitewashed Mexican.
It's a shame.
Yeah. I don't carry enough cash on me to go to authentic Mexican restaurants.
So that wasn't even a
It was a debit card friendly Mexican restaurant.
I see. So you would probably call that how many Tums? 1 Tums or 5 Tums?
Oh, whitewashed Mexican is like half a Tum.
It's really not even worth taking a Tums. You might just wash it down.
Yeah, you don't really even need it. You don't even really need a Tums. Yeah, milk was a good backup if you can't find the Tums. Like not even maybe like 3 sips of milk or something.
Got it.
But I wanted to bring up something to you, Brad. You had something really exciting happen to you on Twitter.
I did.
This weekend.
I did.
Saturday?
I was watching my Twitter account, and all of a sudden, this punter guy for the Indianapolis Colts, after they won their game, I think his name is Pat McAfee, he tweeted this picture. And it was a picture of Adam Vinatieri wearing a towel, but wearing a collared button-up shirt on top. And McAfee made the comment that this is business on the bottom, and no, it was business on top, fun on the bottom, or whatever. And I looked at this picture, and immediately I thought, this is really dangerous, taking pictures in the locker room. You don't do this, right? Like,
yeah, of your teammates in the locker room, no,
because you never know what's going to be behind there. I mean, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, he's going to get a lot of crap for this, just taking a picture like this in the locker room and tweeting it out. At some point, these teams are going to get really, really upset about this, and the hammer's going to come down. And the person to bring the hammer down on is the idiot kicker. This is what I'm thinking.
You're thinking this as you're looking at the picture.
As I'm looking at the main subject of the picture, thinking this is a bad, bad, bad idea.
And then what happened?
And then I look at the picture again, and lo and behold, there's naked Andrew Luck in the back, who is covered up only by a man holding a cell phone strategically placed in the line of sight of the camera, as if it were intentional, but at the same time completely random and happenstance and completely lucky, for lack of a better word.
Luck or unlucky. It was a little bit of both.
So I saw this picture and I thought, this is funny. But
yeah, well, luck comes in 2 forms. Comes in good and it comes in bad, and that was a perfect example of both.
Yes, that was good luck and bad luck. I looked at this picture and I thought, okay, this naked Andrew Luck has got to appear places. So immediately I thought, where he needed to appear? He really needed to be at the Mandela funeral. So I found a picture. Of President Obama sitting next to, on his left, the lovely First Lady Michelle Obama, and on his right, the kind of, in her own way, kind of hot Prime Minister of Denmark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's laughing it up with the Prime Minister of Denmark, while Michelle just, she looks very, very moved.
Cold.
By the funeral thing. Yes, she does.
She didn't look moved. She looked cold.
Well, I would say she was moved by the occasion. That's really how she looked. She looked serious, for a serious occasion. I wouldn't call her cold. Well, these other 2 jokers are, laughing it up and having a good time, and I thought, what better place for Andrew Luck to appear in great moments in history than at this funeral? So I pasted him in.
Perfect.
Then I thought, okay, sport. This is about sports. I'd like him.
But to get back to the Mandela picture,
Yes.
when I looked at it, it looked like Andrew Luck was there for the first lady. The first lady's there, and she probably feels a little bit like a third wheel. Like, she's not a leader of the free world, but she's the first lady of the United States of America, and she's probably feeling a little bit like a third wheel. And Andrew Luck is like, I have to go and do this for my country. I need to go over and even out the odds here. Like we need to make this. We need to put this in pairs. And he stepped up for his country, and he was there for the first lady. And I think what you captured was that moment right before he was there for her. Like it was like the before without the after.
Yes, but I thought because there was a before without the after, I thought what it was missing was the seriousness that naked Andrew Luck would add to that historical moment. And so I photoshopped naked Andrew Luck into that picture, sitting kind of behind the Prime Minister of Denmark, so that they were completely unaware that he was there, but the audience looking on it could see what was going on. And then it dawned on me, maybe it's not just great moments in history. Like I thought, okay, the next one he should be at the grassy knoll. Somebody actually suggested it to me. And I did one where naked Andrew Luck appeared on the grassy knoll and was looking at the police officer running at him. But the one that I think really cemented this as an important historical figure was when he appeared on the bench of the USA hockey team at Lake Placid in 1980 as they had won the game and the bench is clearing and he is standing right in the middle, trying to get his clothes on basically.
And he got caught. He got caught with his pants down.
Yes, I tweeted these out and
was that Herb? What's his name? Herb Ritz? No, not Herb Ritz. Herb Brooks. Blue Dean is going to hate me for saying the name wrong. Was that Herb Brooks in the picture, or was that Kurt Russell in the picture?
Very tough to tell. I mean, it was Goldie Hawn next to him.
Okay,
no,
so it's definitely Herb Brooks.
Definitely Herb Brooks if there's no Goldie Hawn. So,
right.
So I posted that picture on Twitter, and then I tweeted back as I'm doing these, Pat McAfee, I guess apparently had noticed that there was a naked Andrew Luck in his picture since we pointed it out to him. So he immediately pulled the picture and issued an apology, to which I actually tweeted him back with a picture that had Andrew Luck covered by Adam Vinatieri's towel. And at that point, Pat McAfee blocked me on Twitter. I was blocked for this. Well, meanwhile, everybody was retweeting my pictures and sending suggestions. And for about an hour and a half, I just ground these out as fast as I could. We had Andrew Luck in the boat crossing the Delaware with General George Washington. I honestly don't remember half of them. I was very busy with.
Any more sports moments?
Well, I'm actually going to look here just to.
The one I remember is going back to.
There was actually a great sports moment. There was the meetup with you and Johnny Ringo, presumably in Miami, where you guys are drinking beers, and Andrew Luck is behind you, and he seems to want to put his hand on your neck there, Cobb, but he resists.
What?
Other moments that were great. He was actually.
I didn't see that one.
He actually appeared with Red Lightning in a locker room, next to a jersey of Chris Wenke. I thought that was neat. And naked Andrew Luck appeared on the Stanford float in the Rose Parade this year.
Appropriately.
We did have a few other sports moments where he took the final snap of the game against who did they beat? They beat the Chiefs, right?
Chiefs. Yeah. The Kansas City Chokes.
He's in the victory formation, and he took the final snap against the Chiefs. We have him. Oh, amazing! We have him in the iconic game that Michael Jordan, the iconic shot that Michael Jordan made against the Utah Jazz. That was the flu game. And as he makes the final 3-point shot to win the game, Andrew Luck is Well, he appears to be actually blocking out another Bulls player. That's pretty weird. But he's there naked doing that. He was at the third one I tweeted was Andrew Luck at the Nicole Brown Simpson funeral, and he's joined there. He's joined there by OJ in sunglasses, and their two kids. They're two beautiful little kids. And Andrew Luck is there naked.
I'm looking at that picture right now, and it looks like Andrew Luck is like leaving. It looks like, you know, I mean, everyone's leaving the funeral, but it looks like Andrew Luck is going in another direction. I think he's going to look for the real killer. That's what it looks like from here.
I think that's the thing about Andrew Luck is he's always going in a different direction. Like if he was going with the direction of that play, he would most certainly have not scooped and scored. You know, we have somebody on the phone here. We have Lupe on the phone. What's up, Lupe? Lupe must just be here to listen.
Hello, she must be just to listen. He just wants to listen. She probably figured out that the best thing to do is she wants to tweet the TMP live while listening. Is to download the GoToMeeting app and just listen from your phone, and then you could tweet the show live. Because if you do it with the YouTube feed, you're going to run into an issue. Because this is a big problem for iPhone users, is when you have YouTube open, you can't use any of your apps. So it's YouTube or nothing from the iPhone, and other phones don't have this problem. So she might have just figured it out, and this is something that we could probably address right now.
We don't. We're still talking about my photoshopping. He actually Andrew Luck actually appeared on the jumbotron in Indianapolis after he
threw the touchdown pass.
Yes, the game-winning touch. Was that the game-winning touchdown pass?
The game-winning touchdown pass to T.Y. Hilton. Yeah.
I think it was. Yes, and Andrew Luck is behind him there.
Andrew Luck also appears on the moon with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
He did. He appeared in the iconic evolutionary picture showing the progression from monkeys to man.
He also appears to be crossing Abbey Road with 3 of the Beatles.
Yes.
I see John, Paul, and George there. Apparently, he must have replaced the drummer.
Ringo. Yes.
Ringo, the drummer. Yeah, Ringo's not there, but Andrew's there.
He also appeared on an episode of Maury Povich, where a man is being told that he is not the father, but behind a crying woman is naked Andrew Luck, who might actually be the father.
It looks like he's surprised to be there. It looks like he kind of woke up from like a nap, and he's like coming up from behind the chair like, oh my God, I can't believe all these people and cameras are here. OMG, I'm in such shock.
Yes, I didn't catch this earlier this summer, but our great friend of the show, Jay Gray, who painted the Lone Ranger motorcycle for the Lone Ranger movie. This is a motorcycle that was actually ridden by Johnny Depp in the movie. Johnny Depp played Tonto. And he actually rode this motorcycle just across the desert. And it never got any dirt on it or anything else, but they had the actual motorcycle at the red carpet ceremony at Disney's California Adventure where they premiered the movie. And this was in July or so. And you can see Andrew Luck sneaking behind the motorcycle on the red carpet. Naked Andrew Luck was there.
Looks like he's trying to change or something.
I hadn't noticed him before. Well, you know,
he's incognito. I mean, he's not Richie Incognito, but he's kind of incognito there.
Not Richie Incognito, and he was also on the Wrecking Ball with Miley Cyrus. I thought that was an impressive.
They're sharing a ride on a Wrecking Ball. So they came in on. You know, one could say they came in on a Wrecking Ball.
Well, forget Miley. He came in on a Wrecking Ball in the second half.
There's
no question about that.
He sure did.
He sure did.
And
other Photoshop adventures I had this weekend. This was thanks to one French Fry Phil who shares my fascination with Colin Kaepernick's face, and we did find a young kid who looked a bit like Colin Kaepernick, and I thought he was missing something, so I took Colin Kaepernick's goatee and I put it on this young kid, and now they look very, very similar. That was my other photoshopping adventure.
Did
French
that
Fry
get you?
Phil,
Did that
actually.
get you blocked?
It did not get me blocked, but
Those adventures get you blocked? Okay, good.
French Fry Phil did use this picture and got a retweet from Hey Maddie today, which was a very impressive thing for him to do.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you didn't get blocked because you and I are both striving towards that 500 milestone of 500 followers, and you can't afford to be blocked by anybody, Brad.
No, Frank Ojeda tweeted us earlier blind guesses of our guest.
Right.
And he wanted to know if we were picking on him. Signed, Blind Lawrence.
No, that's not what it says.
It said signed Stevie Wonder. How about that? French Fry Phil answered one of our questions on the Twitter on the Twitter for us.
What is that?
One of my questions. Well, he did say that godparents are a parent's backup plan, and they're also responsible for spiritual guidance. All right, what kind of spiritual guidance do you plan to give young Kirkland?
Cortland. She's not a football player.
Godfather Jay, what kind of spiritual guidance can I get from you?
Always say grace before dinner, so you don't get sick.
Okay, that's good advice.
If we can go back to some tweet pics, this wasn't a tweet pic that you or I took, but a friend of the TMP. He didn't take this picture, but he tweeted it out on his Twitter feed, and that was a picture of frozen bleacher seats from Lambeau Field. And of course, I'm talking about Jake in Wisconsin, who we interviewed in an earlier episode of the TMP, and his picture got picked up by nearly every sports Twitter feed, local or national, and then he later had to apologize and said he was duped by his cousin.
Yes,
so
that picture did not actually happen, and it showed what people wanted to see, which was basically 3 feet of snow on high school bleachers that Green Bay fan calls Lambeau Field. Apparently, it's an iconic stadium that looks like it's, it really looked for all the world to see like a high school stadium.
Right. If Lambeau Field was
high school stadium.
Yeah, if Lambeau Field was in Southern California, it would have been demolished right now, and that high school would have to share a field with a team down the street. That's what Lambeau Field looks like.
Yes, and then to make matters worse, he then tweets this picture that purports to be actually at the stadium that he took. This is like the after picture of that, and it shows lots of blue. What looks like blue salt.
No, he didn't tweet that picture. That was tweeted by someone else, like almost as like a response.
Oh, as a response, I see. And
this is what it looks like, and it was like a bunch of blue salt all over everywhere.
And what it really looked like was that the groundskeepers, or what would you call them? They're not the groundskeepers. They would be like the bleacher keepers. The bleacher keepers at Lambeau Field sacrificed a Smurf in order to remove all the snow.
This is what's going on in Green Bay. Those people that clean up the bleachers, the bleacher keepers, those are unpaid employees. Those are like interns. Those are volunteers.
No. They're not unpaid employees, Cobb. They're actually owners of the team. Don't you know how Green Bay works? Everybody has like a 145,000th share in the team, and so
not everyone, not all of them. Only those that choose to buy stock.
I thought it was everybody who owned property owned a piece of the team in Green Bay.
Is it?
And then,
I don't. Okay.
Well, then what they do is they say, hey, we need the bleachers renumbered this year so that Joey can figure out that he only gets this 1-foot section of the bleacher and not the 3-foot section that his ass would otherwise take up. So
right.
Would somebody please volunteer? One of you owners, please volunteer to come over here and paint 15 and 16 on these bleachers because it's been worn thin by years and years of snow cover. And so some owner comes over there and paints 15 and 16 on the seats, on the benches.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see here.
So Jimmy and Johnny and Joey can show up in Lambeau in their orange hunting jackets and root for their hometown Green Bay Packers. Like, that's one thing I don't get. Like, you're watching the game on TV and half of the stadium is in an orange jacket. Like, there's no orange in the Green Bay Packers color scheme.
Yeah, You know what? The only thing less embarrassing than Lambeau Field is our top 70. This whole Lambeau Field thing is more embarrassing than our top 70 college football teams. At least the top 65 of those top 70. It's not a good look for Green Bay. We feel for you. At the same time, you need to step your game up a whole bunch if you think you're going to be an NFL city. Cobb, you know what time it is?
Do I know what time it is? Time for the rewind.
That's right. It's time for King of the Show.
King of the Show. Wait. We talked about this, Brad. We don't want to do something that isn't what everyone else is doing and doesn't make anyone feel left out. So this week we're doing a featured Twitter Hat Trick Club members whose names start with the letter A.
Okay then. Big shout out to Alex Titschauer, Andrew Renakovich, Alex Hernandez, and Andy in Pittsburgh. That's 2 Alexes and 2 Andys for you there, Cobb. What do they win?
Our congratulations and our respect.
And maybe a little letter A, admiration.
Ooh, I like that. There it is.
Thanks to Travanti Jaramillo for not calling in and sitting in with us, but real thanks to Manuel and Gardena, at Mead Indeed, callers and tweeters. Thanks to everyone who listened.
Please let us know what you thought of today's show on Twitter. Hashtag TheTMP. We'll see you next Monday at 12:15 Pacific.
And I'll see you for our extensive 5-hour show debrief later this afternoon, Cobb.
Oh, highlight of my day, Brad.
Lates.